going on, y'all? It is your girl Ash, and welcome back to Ashland. As always, thanks again for always checking your girl out here at this here wonderful channel here. Tonight, as you can see in the title, we are doing a recap here. That's where I basically give my spills, my tea, my opinion, my insight on what's happened and on certain little bits and parts of the episode here. So, jumping into this for Teen Mom episode 2, season 11, let's go ahead and jump all into Jade. But before I get all into Jade, before I forget, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can go ahead and join in with me as we go ahead, chop it up, talk it up about these good old recaps as well. I do a little bit of mom stuff as well as a little bit of other stuff here and there because we do whatever it is that I like to do here in my land. So, go ahead, as I said, subscribe, comment below about your thoughts, your opinions on the episode, anything that I talked about, and go ahead and give that video a big old nice little thumbs up. All right, now back to Jade. So, Jade is, oh boy, just left. Y'all know, your girl always be forgetting somebody's name, but he just left. Her baby dad just left to go to rehab, and before she's even able to let that sink in, settle in even a little bit, poor little baby is sick. And basically I think like she's having like a toothache, a real bad toothache or whatever whatnot that's keeping Jade up. She's not really able to do anything to like keep her, content and satisfied. And as a mom, definitely understand where Jade was coming from. Like that, gets to you when you see that your child is in pain and there's really nothing much that you can do. But she go ahead, she takes the lead, takes her to a dentist to get checked out or whatnot, just to get there, and they can't even really do much for her. They need, they try to, I think like numb the pain or whatever, whatnot, but little baby Jade is, little baby is not basically feeling that like at all. She's like, having a whole fit, and basically the dentist was just like, look, you're gonna have to send her to a pediatric dentist. We don't want to make this a traumatic event for her, as this is her first time at the dentist, and boom, your first experience is them trying to hold you down to basically help to make you content. Like nah, we ain't gonna do all that. So they schedule an appointment for the next day. So she just calls her mom, updates her, on what's going on. We gotta, take her to a pediatric dentist. There wasn't nothing they can do there. And good old Christy, nothing else. Christy does show up. She does show up for her grandchild. So while Christy does always like show up, when she does show up, nonetheless, she always drives Jade, crazy. They're in the car arguing about, because it looked like either Jade either got a new car or could be a rental, whatever. But either way, Jade is like, basically her mom's doing something, probably got like drink, coffee, whatever, and it's making a mess in the car. So she's freaking out, about that. They get her checked out and do confirm that basically, she has to have surgery. The baby girl has to have surgery. These candies or whatever that she eats get stuck up in her teeth, and so now because of that, they're gonna have to like get surgery, like to, I guess like to get it out or whatever or whatnot. And I think what they were talking about is basically what they were basically saying was just like, I guess like it's a nerve, and that's what's actually causing the pain and the discomfort so bad or whatever whatnot. And if you ever had a bad tooth or a toothache, whatever, when it's that nerve, when it didn't hit that nerve, ain't no coming back from that. That's like some pain like no other. So Jade is already like just all frantic and having high stress, high anxiety because of, she has to have surgery now. She, to a degree won't be able even to go with her into the surgery, to a degree, like when they numb her up and everything. And, she's just freaking out because one, she's already missing, like this is the moments where, the baby girl wants the dad, she wished that he was there. Like she basically has Sean. There we go. We finally figured out his name. So basically she has to go through all of this, alone. And stuff like this, it does get overwhelming. But imagine if you had multiple shade, multiples, where even if all the rest of them good, if one is good, if one is down, it's like the rest of them are down because like it's, but nonetheless, not even to take away, from her experience. At the end of the day, alone is alone. Whether you have one, whether you have 16. Well, no, let's be honest. If you got 16 and you just by yourself, like that's no. We need to count. You need to count your blessings then. If you got one versus that 16, because that's a whole totally another thing. So, nonetheless, like Jay gonna figure it out. She gonna get it together. Our good old Leah. So Leah is on a date on like it's like her and Jalen's like first official date. They're like having brunch, but as she's on her way, like she's all high on a good high, all giddy, excited about this like date, and talking to her girlfriend. Oh God, what? Oh, excuse me. So she's all happy. She's excited, about this date. Talk to her girlfriend or whatever, whatnot, and she talks about how her dad had called her to let him know, that he had been locked up, and that basically would seem to have led to basically the reason why he was reaching out was basically, like for money. He was like that. He was saying that, they were saying that he was going to need a lawyer, and Leah is straight shutting that down like immediately. And if you remember, like Leah didn't always have like a great relationship with her dad, and now it's like they really don't really have one. Seems like 5 years ago, he's been in Florida, and they don't really necessarily even communicate any. It seems like when he does call, it's always when he needs something. He doesn't call to wish her a happy birthday, to talk about the kids, or to wish the kids a happy birthday. So when she ends up as well getting a phone call from her sister, already realizing that she's crying, she's like, wait, like what is wrong with you? Why are you crying? Get it together. Like, no, he needs to be held accountable for his actions. Like, he only reaches out when he needs something. Like, you can't just keep pointing the finger. And when they finally sit down, this her sister's basically point of view was just like, well, how I see things is just like, what if something happens to him? Or basically like, what if he's no longer here? And I think for Leah is just in that place where it kind of just is what it is. One, he can't come to her about anything anymore at this point. And she apparently they as well kind of had like a low key like toxic relationship, on the point of where she talks about what they were using together when she was using or whatever or whatnot. So basically she came to a point, she's at a point where she realized that she had to draw a boundary in regards to that relationship. And that's hella healthy. That's very big girl of her, for one, and that's hella healthy because, for one, it is your parent, and I get it. I've definitely been there when your parent or one of your parents needs something, and it's kind of like somewhat an obligation, or as well, obviously, like just like they don't want to see you, down. You don't want to like see them down either. So out of that right there, you kind of like feel like you have to help, and you really want to help or whatever or whatnot. But when the activity continues, the same things just seem to go on and on and on, it's kind of just like, yeah, no, it's not much that we can continue to to go from here. So while it sucked, I completely understood where Leah was coming from in the regards of, one, I have a date, so I'm not dealing with that. And even after the fact, like when she sat down with her sister, it was just like, this is the how I understood it was, this is the line that has now been drawn because of his actions, actions of us, together, my mental state, my own healthiness. This is how I have to handle him, and this is how, I have to deal with him going forward. Now, her and Jalen's date, was cute. Typical, little first date, getting to know each other. Like she, obviously let him know like I'm on a TV show, I have kids, she showed him, the pictures of her kids. Now of course Jalen doesn't have kids, he's about a couple of years younger, maybe like five, a little maybe less. He said he was 25 and Leah and them are pushing 30 or going on 30. So somewhere between I would just say like between 3 to 5 years apart from each other. And he's just talking about his accomplishments, what he's done and where he's from, some general, first date getting to know each other, conversation that seemed to have went well. They exchanged numbers. He went back home to Georgia, and they're going to continue, talking, from there. So definitely can't wait to see and hear more and more about like what they're gonna have, going on. And as far as like, I wish the best, like for their whole father situation. Like, regardless, I don't wish, nothing on anybody, but I think what it was, it kind of reminded me of me and my sister, and kind of like how she'll call on me or I'll call on her, maybe about like us, one of our parents, and the other person. And here lately, I probably saying that really more lately, it's like now or whatever or whatnot. And I'll just be kind of like nonchalant about it sometimes. Just kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever. And it's not even always that. Sometimes it's like other family members as well. So it's not like always parents or whatever or whatnot. I think for me, it's like for her, it's like don't go always so quick to go jump over the board. Bring it back, just a little bit so we can really, figure out like, get really all the full details and the full aspect. Because a lot of times people are giving you just their perception, especially if they're telling you about something else. And there I go, probably leading on to something else. So let's just focus on the situation at hand. So I think let's go ahead and jumping into Ashley. So getting into Ashley, I really got feelings on this. So obviously, they decided to, Ashley felt it was best that they break up, break up right now. And basically Bar is going to take you, him and Holly are going to go to Ohio to visit his parents or whatever or whatnot. What really stuck out to me and as well was like surprising was of course Ashley goes and sits with her mom. Bar's going to see his mom, so they sit down. And I was one not surprised by Pastor T. Like we're not surprised by Pastor T. Her reaction, like she off top was just like, I never wanted y'all to get married. Really, I never even wanted you even to be with Bar. And I think for me, I just did not like how she immediately was just like, you need to go ahead and divorce him. So obviously she's like, well, where are y'all? What are y'all doing? Like, and actually it's just like, well, obviously we're not together, but, she's saying that clearly it's not to say that it's for good right now. Like, it's like Ashley want her family. She want her family, regardless of the fact that at the end of the day, regardless of what Pastor T feel, I feel like she should have recommended something, recommended counseling, whatever. I get it. Like, I just hate that she immediately was just like, for complete failure for this marriage. You better divorce him. You better divorce him. I did not like that. That really just, it bothered me too, so badly. And I think what was shocking was Bar's mom, who clearly I think their relationship has gotten better. Bar's mom and Ashley, maybe or maybe not. But either way, just even though the history, I was shocked to hear, her actually come, like low key into a defense of Ashley and just telling him how like, yeah, you need to step up. And yes, like she wants, this is what she wants for you. And, she wants what's best. And, like, pushing for him to make it work and to make the relationship work. And it was like, wow, like, cause I ain't gonna lie, I was expecting Bar's mom to just go ahead and be like, just like Pastor T, you need to throw in a towel, you need to be rid of this, you need to be done with this, whatever. So and even see just how crushed Bar was in regards to this. Like, I guess she wanted to go ahead and jump into it, and Bar was just like this is still fresh. He didn't really want to get into it like that in front of production like that. And even after and him, like, you could just see how, like, at the same time, how, like, fed up, like, Ashley is, and how, like, she's so checked out because when he called and, like, just to check in and let her talk to Hallie, like, she was completely stone cold with Barb. But the moment I got on the phone, hey baby, da, 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 I was like, dang, Ash. So I'm I'm feeling for them. I'm feeling for them so bad because I want them to really, like, figure it out, work it out. And I mean, obviously, like, they continue to stay together because of what we've seen. But just staying here, staying in the moment without even getting into, thinking about what happened on family reunion, it sucks just seeing them this way. And Bar is clearly not doing good. He wants to do better. He realizing that he has to do something, that he has to make this right. And it's like, all right, now he has to go home. Actually, now he's coming home. Now what? Now they have to figure out, like, what this is and what this looks like once he does come home. What really stuck out to me or whatever or whatnot is when Ashley was having, like, her, it wasn't an interview, it was more like a confessional. It was like confessions or whatever, whatnot. And she was basically saying how it's just to say that these same issues that they had prior to being married were the same issues, like these same issues that they have now that they're married are the same issues that they had prior to being married. And I think as well that just goes to show the level of, like, understanding that we have about relationships and about marriage. And it's not to say that she went in thinking that being married was going to fix it. Like, her main thing was, oh, I thought it was going to be romantic. So in a degree, she thought that once she got married, it was going to be something that it wasn't already before. The marriage, just because you're married, it can't turn into something when your relationship was not that to begin with. So all right, so let's start there. So it was kind of like, all right, you should have went into this knowing, like, these are the issues, that these are the things we have to work on. Y'all jumped so quick and got married. Y'all wanted to be together. Fine. Y'all not the church going type, whatever. So I'm not saying premarital counseling, you had to go through that, but I think this is why it's out there or whatnot. You may not even have to go through premarital counseling with an actual pastor. I don't necessarily know if you can go, to a certain type of therapist or whatever to get that premarital counseling. I don't see why not, but at the same time, even if it wasn't premarital counseling, go to relationship counseling in general, because I don't know. I think it's just for me, easy for me to say. Just when I think about it and I'm saying all this, it just sounds like she thought that getting married was going to fix some of the issues they had, whether with the issues in romance or Bar's issues with being motivated and wanting to get better and sticking with something and finishing something. That wasn't going to change once I got married. And it's now like, oh, now I want to stop being married because he's not meeting me halfway. Baby, he wasn't meeting you halfway before then. So for me, save the money and now figure it out. Now continue to figure it out as y'all will continue to figure it out then. Go ahead. I mean, so that's that. That's my take. Now to the crazy. Brianna and her friend. What's the friend name? I always forget her name. And it's not even that I always forget her name. It's just I'm forgetting her name because I'm having to talk about her. And yeah. And of course I can't remember it right now. Shirley. So Shirley, she takes Shirley with her, to go and do this podcast with Chris. And so, they show up to, like, it looks like their little Airbnb. Chris and his friend Bread. Okay, so I hope you got some bread. If his name is Bread, like, whatever. So, they're, keep it cool, keep it casual. This is like their first time meeting or whatever or whatnot. But is it just me, or is it I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's some type of chemistry there outside of this, like, just friendship or whatever or whatnot, and them just meeting, like, I don't know, they just kind of look like they would be together, like, so it's kind of like sucky, because I'm kind of like, oh, like, they actually kind of look like a couple, like they would be a cute couple. But then I'll be thinking about the drama that's behind, like, and the baggage behind the both of them, and I'm like, whoo, no, maybe y'all need to stay clear of that. Maybe that is just not the move to go in. So nonetheless, like he's talking about, what his podcast is about, basically like what to expect, what the setup is gonna look like, whatever, whatever, whatever. But before all that, they decided to like hang out. And maybe because I already knew that Javi was already feeling the type of way, or we felt, like that she should have brought Javi on this trip. But the rage room looked like a double date. It did. Like you didn't go in there and rage out with Shirley. You went in and raged out with Chris. That's looking so datish, and at the same time, like you're a whole fiance, you got a whole boyfriend, and then when he's finding out that like you're hanging out beyond what he thought was just a podcast episode, now you're like nonchalant of his feelings. Oh, he's gonna have to get over it. Oh, I told him everything he needs to know. Like, I don't really care. Sis, you need to care. Like, this just goes to show that this won't even the move. You didn't need to tell him that you shouldn't accept this man's engagement. You just shouldn't accept this man's engagement. Like, Brianna ain't ready. Brianna ain't ready. So nonetheless, he's blowing her up, driving her all kinds of crazy. They end up actually talking about, not on the episode, but just like them talking before they actually had recorded about how, I guess like his relationships, and he's saying it like in a, I don't know if he's referencing her in a they type of form, because I don't recall him having another baby mama. Does he have another baby mama? Did he? I remember that was like circulating for a while, but or he just wasn't want to reference Kale in particular or whatever or whatnot. But he's just talking about how he tries to stay cordial, and no matter what though, it seems like that there's just always mess. It's always drama or whatever or whatnot, and he be trying to stay clear of that. But because of all the mess and the drama, it caused him to get hard, and it caused him to have anger. So basically that's what has gotten what he ended up putting out there, because of how everything has unraveled and unfolded with the situation that I'm assuming he's talking about with Kale. So nonetheless, they do the podcast, good episode, whatever, whatever, whatever. And Brianna comes home, and no, first off, the little comment like, so can we touch now? Like, so they took a picture. They took a picture. Shirley took a picture of them or whatever for the podcast, and I guess like they were just all like, just standing like, and I guess maybe they were just all supposed to like, maybe that's all what it was. You just getting, you're about to take a picture. You just kind of just all gradually put their arms around each other. Maybe that's what she was looking for. Maybe that's what she meant. But when she said it, it was just kind of like, Brianna, you are just doing too much. Like Brianna, like low key is a flirt. I think she was flirting. I very like Brianna, you ain't slick, girl. Like you are just not slick, girl. You ain't got me fooled. Just know I ain't fooled. Like I ain't fooled. So nonetheless, like I said, so she get back, and Javi's been acting the whole fool. Her mom's like, well, what did he say? Like, well, it don't matter what he said. Like, I'm gonna do what I did. Yeah, well, you can do whatever, but what did he say? Like, it was just like, Brianna, like, just come on. So either way, she basically feels like this podcast was worth it. It was worth the drama that she's gonna have with Kale. Oh, which apparently Chris says he didn't even know that Kale was suing Brianna. So okay, in your defense, because I think I accused him of knowing in last week's video. So either way, what the real tea is basically, because at the same time, it wasn't until this part showed that I realized like, oh wait, yeah, like where is Kale? Kale isn't in this episode. That they talk about some, basically once the podcast was recorded, Kale got wind that Chris is going to be in this season for this series or whatever or whatnot, and she out. She does no longer wants to record anymore. Yeah, like Kale is the most like up, down, and as much as I would love to hear the grand excuse for why. Like, it's part of me is like, why even? Because what's crazy is it's gonna sound like, oh, okay, that makes sense, when really it's just like, Kale, just grow up already. Like, just grow up already. Like, like, why? Why? He's on the platform, so now you don't want to be on the platform, but at the end of the day, this is your platform, and you're the reason why he even gets to be on the platform. Like, sis, like, just I'm through, y'all. I Let's wait till next week. I just want to see next week, because apparently Hyra's gonna piss Brianna all the way off. So apparently this might what's in things, because like I said, she ain't never talk about that man on family reunion. So what does happen? Clearly something is going to happen. We know Kale is gonna have something to say about Brianna being on the podcast. So possibly she might come back or something, or just maybe just to talk to production about her decisions. I don't know. Either way, y'all make sure you subscribe and you bang that bell so you can get notified when I drop this video every week. All right, for these recaps. All right, y'all, later. See y'all next week. Peace.